Hey everybody, welcome back to DIY Boomboxes in Texas. Oh, this is your first time seeing my video, but I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of first time viewers on this particular video. Welcome, and of course let's welcome my co-host Duke. Say hello, Duke. This is my male cat Duke. I have a female named Elizabeth, which is Duke's cousin. And if it's your first time seeing my video, Duke is in most of my videos. He's my buddy, my second hand. When the camera comes on, he's got to be up here. So we're going to move him in just a minute. I'm not going to tell you everything about Duke because Duke has his own video called the Duke Special. So if you scroll through my videos there, you'll see this one. All right, Duke, we got a lot of work ahead of us, okay? You going to be all right? Yes? Okay, come on. All right, here's a video I promised everybody I'm going to do. I'm making a Ford Mustang themed boombox here, and I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm going to be using color shifting paint. It's going to shift from purple to blue, maybe a little bit of red in between, maybe a hint of green, depending on how the light hits it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, I'm going to run through the things we're going to need, and then I'm not going to show you every single step because I have a lot of other videos out there showing these different steps. So I'll just kind of do an overview of the things I've already shown you guys how to do. So now I'm showing you this video for just, purposes of if you want to build your own, that's fine. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's perfectly fine too. I would love to build you a boombox, and I can do any color, any style that you like. If you go through my videos, you'll see I've done sports teams, college teams. I did a purple and turquoise one for a wedding. So if you're not comfortable with this, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to show you what's involved in making your own boombox. And I get a lot of questions on my channel. I also get a lot of questions on my Facebook page, my group. It's called I Love All Things Radio. It's a fantastic source for information. So if you do want to build your own box and you have some questions and not sure where to start, I Love All Things Radio is a fantastic Facebook group to join. Okay, basically we're going to start with our 50 caliber ammunition box, and you can pick these up at Walmart. I got this one at Academy Sports and Outdoors. I don't know how wide they are around the country. Now, I went with the black one because I was reading on the color changing paint, and it said that you need to put it on a black base. So I could have gone and gotten a green box from Walmart or Harbor Freight or even Army Surplus store, but I would have to paint it black before I put down the actual color. And so starting with the black box is perfect. The other thing you're going to need is the parts here. Put this down. You're going to want to go with some 4-inch speakers, and you can use whatever speakers you like. I like the kickers myself. And I didn't want it to be too loud, so I went with the 120 watt. Now they do make some that are a little bit more powerful that are 150 watt, but these will do the job just fine. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to paint these speakers. Now I've done some videos on how to paint speakers, but I'm still going to kind of give you an overview of how to paint the speaker grills. We're going to paint these metallic silver to look like car rims. And these speakers here are not too expensive. I think these are about $40 at Amazon. I tend to get most of my stuff from Amazon. Now the reason we go 4-inch is because you really can't get a bigger speaker than a 4-inch speaker on these 50 calibers. Now if you go with a Fat 50, if you look at the video I just did, I did use a Fat 50. You can get 5¼ inch speakers, and if you go up to an even bigger box like a 40 millimeter, you can get 6.5 inch speakers. But this is your first build. This is a great first project. You don't have to paint it. I mean, if you just want to have a plain military looking box, that's fine. And again, I'm just happen to be doing this one for a buddy of mine who lives in the Washington State area, and he requested that I do this build for him. So I just figured I'd videotape the process. So anyway, you're going to need your speakers, and you're going to need an amplifier board of some kind. Now this one here is really a nice board. This is by Droke, and I'm going to put a parts list up once I upload the video. I have to do it off site because my internet's so slow. So this is a Droke board. Comes in, you have to put it together in this little plastic case here. It's 50 watts times 2. Great little amp. Not super powerful. It's not going to blow the doors off of anything, but it's going to give you a nice, great sound. And these are about 20 bucks at Amazon. Now, I also tend to like to use, let's see if I got one here. This particular amplifier right here, this one is 120 times 2, or 60 times 2. And it's a little bit more powerful. Or it might be 120 times 2. I don't remember. It's a nice little powerful amplifier. I use this when I have larger speakers. It doesn't have the greatest Bluetooth range. This one here, you can get about 75 feet away. This one you get about 15 feet away. So, but we don't need nothing that powerful for what we're using today. So you're going to need your speakers, your amplifier. Now you're going to have some sort of a battery. Now some guys like to use lead acid batteries, sealed lead acid. Nothing wrong with that. Works perfectly fine. The thing you got to think about is how you're going to charge that battery. So you do have to have a separate battery charger if you're going with the sealed lead acid batteries. Now, cool thing about these batteries here is you get your lithium-ion battery. And one thing you'll notice is the weight. It only weighs about a pound versus the other batteries weigh about 7 or 8 pounds. So it's very light, and it comes with, we're actually doing an unboxing. I didn't plan on it. It actually comes with its own charger. And I'm going to show you how you can hook up this little connector so you can have a charger on the outside of your box. So you got your battery. These are about 30 bucks. And they work really great. And the charger's all automatic. Everything comes just like this in the box. So we have that. Here's the other thing. Now you don't have to have this. It's a nice thing to have. This is a voltage gauge that we have right here. Now you can buy the voltage gauge by itself for about $7 to $8, but if you spend $12, you can also get a USB port, which is really nice because you can also charge your phone while you're using the boombox. And it's a nice feature to have, and also power goes out in your home for some reason. You have a big storm or something, you can charge your cell phone. I remember a few years ago when we had a hurricane, I was actually running out to my ar to charge my phone, and it was crazy. So it comes in a little bracket like this. It even comes with some jumper wires to help make wiring easier, which we'll get to that when we do the wiring. And it even comes with screws and connectors to screw it down to your project and plug it in, which we'll cover that when we're doing the wiring. Now I did say this is going to be a Mustang themed build, so let me show you. Oh, the other thing is you want to be able to turn it on and off somehow. So we have these little round rocker switches with built-in LEDs, and the cool thing is you can get these in several different colors. Switches are just your personal preference. Some people like the rocker switches, the toggle switches with the regular toggles. They even have some fancy ones with the guards on them, like you see in airplanes and other equipment with the switch guards. You can go with the push button switches. Now those are a little trickier to wire, but there's diagrams online showing you how to wire those up. A lot of these rocker switches, they're cheap. You can probably get, maybe 10 of them for $5 or $6. And you can get different colors. They come in red, blue, yellow, green. So I tend to order about 20 at once. You can get 20 or 25 for $13. And they have little connectors on the back here. You can see that the F connectors just plug right in, crimp your wire down. And it's real easy. Now let me show you what we're going to do to this box here. Now, I like to put my speakers on this side with the latch being on the right side. I do that because most people are right-handed, so it's easy for you to, when it's facing you, reach up. And if you need to do any kind of maintenance in here, you can store your chargers in there. That's just what I tend to do. You can do either side, doesn't matter. But what we're going to do here is we're going to have the speakers up front, and they're going to be painted metallic silver. And we're going to have the word Mustang, this decal right here, if you can see that, right there across the top. And what we're going to do on the side, these are actually real badging from a Mustang. We're going to put 5.0 right there, and I'm actually going to put the bracket right here on the side, kind of look like a little dashboard, like that. And I think it'll look kind of cool. Since I'm not going to put any decals on here, I wanted to have something more than just the 5.0. Then on the back, what we're going to have is we're going to have this Mustang logo right here on the back. And I think that's going to look really, really cool once we get it done. So anyway, that's pretty much the parts. Let me show you real quick what tools you're going to need. Let me kind of put everything in the box here. I keep everything in a plastic tray, all the parts as they come in, because I tend to do several builds at once because I do sell these. So I'll put a little post-it note on the front here, but it's a great way to keep your parts organized as they come in and keep it in a little plastic tray. Now, you're going to have a decent drill. I prefer Porter cable myself. I've actually got two of these. This one I use to drive screws, the other one I use to drill holes, 1/2 inch. These are a great deal right now. I think these are $75 at Lowe's. Or I think, I don't know if Tractor Supply sells Porter cable. I know they sell the air compressors, which that's on my Christmas list. But this is a great drill. Now, if you guys that may have a workshop in your garage, have a drill press, you can also use a drill press perfectly fine. But I would suggest you get at least a 1/2 inch drill, because a 3/8 drill is really not going to be strong enough unless you have one that's corded to drill your holes. Now, speaking of making holes, if you don't have a hole saw, you're going to have a jigsaw. Again, Porter cable. And so I use this particular jigsaw. I like it because it's cordless and it just makes it a lot easier. And I used to use the jigsaw to make my speaker cutouts before I went with the hole saw. So anyway, guys, that's just a quick explanation of everything. So let me go ahead and get set up, and I'll be right back and we'll get this project started. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and what I did was I went ahead and opened up the speakers and got the grills out because we need to prepare the grills for paint. And a little tip for you, once you take your grills off, go ahead and put your speakers back in your box. That way it'll protect them, that way nothing will get to them. If you have kids running around or even younger siblings, they might want to play with the speakers and damage them, so go ahead and put them in the box. And what I do is I go ahead and take my wire and take my screws and put them in a safe place as well. So anyway, what we need to do first, now this is something you're going to do whether you're going to paint your box. Now if you're not going to paint your box, just don't even worry about this step right here. But what you want to do is get you some green Scotch-Brite pads, and what you want to do is go ahead and rough up the surface here. And what we're trying to do is just take a little bit of that coating off of there that's in the paint, and we're trying to rough up the surface a little bit to give our paint something to stick to. And if you're going to primer your box, it'll give your primer some tooth to stick on. And we're going to do the handle too. Make sure you get under the handle. And we're going to do a little trick in a minute. Now the thing is, you want to get every surface. So now what we're going to do here is, now normally what I would do is take the lid off the box and go ahead and hit all the surfaces separately, but because I'm painting it all one color, I'm just going to go ahead and put it together. Now here's another little trick here. Your table can scratch your box. So this is just a piece of carpet padding that I have right here that I set it on here. Because even though I'm going to paint this, I still don't want to put any gouges in the surface that are deep. And if you're doing a box that's already painted, like this, if I was going with the flat black, which actually I'm going to be doing that project in a couple of days. I'm doing a Harley Davidson box, and we're just going to go with this flat black. I wouldn't want the surface to be scratched, so that's why you put down this carpet padding. And I got this from a carpet store that had a whole bunch of old carpet and padding thrown out in a dumpster in the back, and that's where I got my carpet padding. So I actually got it for free. Actually, we are going to go ahead and take the lid off because we need to get this surface over here. So I'll go ahead and set that to the side. And I'm not going to do this whole thing right here on camera. I'm just going to give you guys an idea. Just really work it, especially surfaces like this. Don't forget these areas right here. Even little little arms right there. Don't forget the edges as well, because if you're going to paint your edges, you want the paint to stick. So there's that, and we're going to go ahead and do the box, and especially this lip right here, and on top there, and you want to go ahead and make sure you get all the little surfaces. Very important for your, lift up that handle there and get under there. Very important to get your paint to stick, and make sure you don't forget the corners either. Now I don't ever paint the bottom because nobody's going to see it, so I mean if you want to paint the bottom, that's perfectly fine. I don't even bother. There's not anything anybody's going to see. So I'll go ahead and hit all these surfaces. Make sure you get the hinges too. Don't forget about the hinges. Now, you can get a can of air spray, or like me, I just got a $2 paintbrush. And just go ahead and, it's a lot cheaper than buying a $6 can of air. Really get in there, get all the surfaces, and same with over here. Just make sure you hit everything. Go ahead and put it back together. Now here's another little trick I'm going to show you guys before I paint. Alright, come on, get on there. Go ahead and get all that dust under there. So you want to go ahead and get all that off, or your paint's not going to stick that well. I go ahead and take me a piece of masking tape. Now we're gonna wrap this handle in paracord. So when we're painting it, you want the handle to be up like this. You can paint underneath it, and also helps hold it up when you're putting the paracord on. So just get you some regular everyday masking tape. You don't need much. And go ahead and just put a little piece, half on the handle, half on that little base right there. Kind of wrap it around and keep it at about a 45-degree angle. And go ahead and do the same thing on this side. And you don't want to touch on the bottom. You don't want to touch on the parts, because all this is going to be covered with paracord. So I just go ahead and leave the tape on and paracord over the tape. So but this way you'll be able to paint underneath there. So the box is ready. Now, as I've explained in some other videos, plastic does not like paint at all. The reason is because when the manufacturer applies this UV coating on here to protect the plastic from disintegrating in the sun, and this paint will not stick to this UV coating. So you got to get this coating off. So you're going to have to really get a fresh pad here. You're really going to have to get into all these little surfaces there, and especially when you have some that are kind of a wild design, like these kickers here. It's going to take you a while to get all the surfaces. So what I suggest is just put some music on, or whatever you like to listen to, and you're going to spend about 15 or 20 minutes at least, maybe half an hour, getting these speakers. Now you're going to see it go from the shiny to kind of a dull, almost a gray black, and that's when you know you've got that coating off there. You don't have to do the back side. We're not going to paint the back side, so let's really work at it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this. Now the other thing is, don't forget about the trim piece if you're going to paint your trim piece. I'm probably not going to paint this trim piece, so I'm going to leave it alone, but a lot of times I do. I like the trim piece to match the speakers. So if you are going to paint the trim piece, you do want to go ahead and scuff up the surface like you would on the other builds. But I'm going to leave this one black. I like the look of it, and it's going to look good against the color changing paint. So we're just going to go ahead and leave it as that. But I am going to paint the speakers metallic silver. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through our painting steps, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. And so actually in about a half hour. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this and finish this. I do have a whole video on painting speaker grills, actually a two-part video on painting speaker grills that'll really show you how to prepare the surface and do all this. So I'm going to take care of this, and When I get done, I'm going to move the camera to my paint booth, and we'll be ready for paint. So I'll see you then. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready for paint. Just wanted to share one more quick tip with you. I've shared before. I go ahead and I want the screws to be painted the same color as the speakers. I don't want the screws to stand out. So I went ahead and screwed them to a piece of cardboard, and you can see it's just an old speaker box that I've used many times to paint my speakers. And just screw them down tightly. You don't want them to move around. And we're going to take these in the other room and get ready to paint them. So stay tuned for that. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, what we're going to do now is before we paint, we want to cut all the holes that we need in our box. You always want to cut the holes before you paint. Do all the drilling that you can. Let me turn off the radio. Didn't realize I had that on. It's my zombie radio. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. So anyway, again, I want to have the latch on this side. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to lay out your speakers. So you want to go ahead and do it with the lid on so you can see where everything is, and plus it makes the box a lot stiffer when you're going to be drilling through the metal. So what we're going to do, first we're going to kind of do a eyeball layout where we want our speakers, and that looks pretty good. That's really good, as a matter of fact. I think I might put the switch right there in the middle. I haven't decided yet where I'm going to put the switch. I'm thinking about putting it on the side over here. So let's go ahead and take our tape measure, and I need my glasses for this because I'm getting old. Let's go ahead and turn this a little bit, and let's see what we got here. I like to be about 5/8. That's about 5/8. Actually, I'm going to come down a little bit. Let's come down to about 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's about right there. Come down 1/2 inch. That's a little high. Okay, turn that just a little bit. See how we're looking on the side here. It's about 3/8. About 3/8, so we're right where I want to be. So now what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and take me a Sharpie, and I'm going to eyeball it again just to see how it looks. Take my glasses off, just for reading up close. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on the inside of the rim there, and you're going to see why in just a minute. I'm going to go hold it down tightly, press firmly. And I'm just going to outline that speaker. Okay, now we're going to do the same with this one. Just press down very firm. Make sure it doesn't move. And we're going to go ahead and outline this one. Okay, there's our outlines. Now, what I did was I went ahead, and let me find it here. I took my hole saw and I went ahead and pre-cut a hole with my hole saw. Now this one's out of plastic from my old boxes, but you can do this out of cardboard. Works just fine. And I'm going to go ahead and line that inside that hole, that circle, perfectly, just like that. Then I'm going to take my marker, hold it down, and I'm going to mark right in the dead center of that hole. That's where I'm going to drill my hole. Go ahead and do the same thing over here. Okay, and that's going to mark the location where I drill my pilot hole for the hole saw. Now for the side, let me go ahead and get that trim piece. Watch out, Elizabeth. Now let's see how we want to lay this out. Now go ahead and take your trim piece here to lay out your other stuff. And the cool thing is it's got a little line right there. And that looks pretty good. So again, kind of go ahead and hold it down firmly. And draw your circles there on the inside. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and, well, I'll go ahead and mark for the holes afterwards. What I like to do is just kind of draw a line straight down the middle. And go ahead and do the same there. And there we go. Now, let's go ahead and lay this on here and see where we want our switches. So, I'm thinking, kind of put the switches, lined up maybe about right there. So let's see how far down that is. Exactly 3 inches. So we're going to go ahead and go 3 inches here. That's a little high. That's a little low. It's about right there. Okay. Now, go ahead and get our center punch. And we're going to go ahead and center punch. And we're going to draw our holes. Alright, go ahead and center punch. That. Alright, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take a, what size of drill bit is this? I don't even remember. I think it's 1/4 inch. Yeah, I'm going to take a 1/4 inch drill bit because that's the same size bit that's in my hole saws. And I'm going to go ahead and drill all these holes out. And I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, as you can see, I got all my pilot holes drilled. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take my hole saws, the different sizes, the one for the switches, the one for these, and the speakers, and go ahead and drill these out. And then we'll be ready for paint. So anyway, guys, I did a whole video on hole saws, so I'm not going to sit there and videotape this process. So if you want to know more about using hole saws, go ahead and look at my video called How to Use Hole Saws, and I'll show you exactly what I'm about to do right now. So as soon as I get this done, we should be ready for paint. Okay, guys, got all the drilling done. What do you think? Everything looks pretty good. A little straggler there. We're off a little bit, but that's okay. We're off on both sides. So it measured out perfectly. And there's our holes for the sides here. Got our 2 holes for the switches and for our connectors. Another hole that I put on here I didn't talk about, guys, is this is going to be the charging port right here where the charger is going to plug into. And I'm going to show you the connector you're going to need to put in there so you can charge it from the outside. So we're going to go ahead and close all that up. Now let me show you what we're going to be using to paint. Now because the box is already black, we're not going to put any primer on there, but we are going to use this adhesion promoter. And this is very, very important, especially when you're painting plastic. This is basically like glue for paint. It's an alcohol-based product, so you spray the adhesive on the product, and you need to set a timer, whether you use your cell phone or I actually use a Cook's timer that I wear around my neck because I do this all the time, but you can use your cell phone. Every smartphone should have a timer on it. Alright, if you've got a kitchen timer, it would work just as good. You can spray a liberal coat of this on here. So it even says here, ideal for plastic, vinyl, and chrome. And just spray it on there, make sure you get the surface wet. And you're going to wait 10 minutes. You have to let the alcohol evaporate, and it's going to leave the sticky residue behind. And that's what your paint is going to stick to, especially when you're painting plastic. If you do not use this, even though you prepare the surface, your paint's just going to flake off and peel off in time very easily. Trust me, ask me how I know. So we're going to, the speaker grills themselves, we're going to go ahead and use the automotive primer, adhesive promoter, and we're going to go ahead and use a gray primer. Once you put the primer on, it dries in a really short period of time. I go ahead and just give it 24 hours or 18 hours just to be on the safe side, depending on the humidity and everything. Even though I do paint inside now, you just never know. And then what we're going to do is we're going to finish up with this metallic aluminum by Krylon. And I really like Krylon over Rust-Oleum. The only reason I'm using Rust-Oleum because they make the color shifting paint. But the main reason is Krylon dries a whole lot faster than Rust-Oleum. Once you put your Krylon on, you can put your clear coat on after a certain period of time, 48 hours, but you want to make about 60 hours when you're using Rust-Oleum. So what we're going to do on the box is, since the box is already black, the color shifting paint here says to apply it on a black surface. Apply the black base coat. So we already have our black base coat. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the adhesive fluid on again. We're going to wait our 10 minutes. And we're going to do one light coat. And then we're going to wait 1 minute between coats. We're going to do 3 very light coats. You don't do any heavy coats or it's going to run. So you're going to do 3 light coats, 1 minute between each coat. And I don't think you guys need to see me film the painting process. I mean, basically, I've done it before. Basically, all I'm going to do is just, again, real light coats. And because it's all one color, I'm leaving the box together. Obviously, if you're going to do 2 different colors, you'd want to separate the lid from the box and paint those separately. So anyway, guys, that's it for right now. This is video 1 of a 2-part video series. So I hope you guys enjoyed it so far. Video 2 will be up in about a week. And what we're going to do in video 2 is we're actually going to be wiring the box and putting it all together and finishing up. So when you see this box again, we're going to wrap the handle in paracord as well. I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. But got to do that after we paint. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, the easiest way to reach me is at my Facebook group called I Love All Things Radio. That's I Love All Things Radio. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, next time you see this box, it'll be painted with color shifting paint. And one thing I didn't tell you guys, go ahead and after you put your paint on, you want to wait about 60 hours and then put your clear coat on. And the best one I found is the Krylon Clear. That works the best. I really don't care for the Rust-Oleum Clear. It tends to make the paint flake up a little bit. Gives it a kind of weird texture. So go with the Krylon Clear. And you're going to put 2 very light coats of clear coat on your project. That's really going to make it stand out. So that's all my tips and tricks there for painting. I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to go. And like I said, I'll see you guys, maybe about 5 or 6 days. And I'll have this up for you. And thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on my channel so you'll know when I put up part 2. You'll be ready to see it on how to make a boombox. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.